Do you feel like you're stuck on the proverbial hamster wheel? Do you feel like you're stuck in an unsatisfying job because it pays the bills? And are you ready to experience abundance and live a life that's congruent to your authentic self? If this sounds like you, you're going to want to tune into today's live video of Coffee and Confidence, where I am interviewing this special guest today who's joining me live in my home for this recording. So she has a bunch of tips that I'm really excited that she's going to share with you today. So you're going to want to tune in, grab your pen, paper, grab your hot beverage, as Steph would say, your coffee, tea, whatever you choose, and get ready to be enlightened this morning. So my name is Kelly Carrigan. I'm an assertiveness coach, and my business is Empower Me Coaching. I'm helping people pleasers worldwide calm the chaos in their life so that they can live life on their terms. You see, I'm a recovering people pleaser, so I've been in your shoes, and I know what it takes and the lessons that need to be learned so that you can live life on your terms. So I'm going to turn it over to my guest. I'm really excited to have Stef Bourke, who is a spiritual mentor, and she's inspiring people everywhere to live life authentically. So welcome, Stef. Thank you so much for being here. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's really, really great to be here. My name is Stef Bourke, and I live in Belleville. Kelly and I know each other personally. Obviously, that's why I'm here in person. But yes, I think my story starts really, where does the story actually start? But I will say in the past 2 years, there's been a series of dramatic changes that I've made in my life. I realized at a point that in little micro steps, the life that I had intended for myself had sort of been compromised. So it starts out with one small step and one small step and one small step away from your trajectory or whatever you had thought would be your life or whatever you feel would be your dream life. And at some point, you sit up and realize that your world and your life isn't anything like what you had dreamed it would be. You've gotten so far off course, but it wasn't ever a direct, huge event. It was just little micro steps. So we reached this conclusion last year in August, my husband and I in our life. We realized, hey, wait a second, this isn't at all what we had intended, and just decided to take a risk and make some changes and design a life that was more in line with what we want to do, what we feel we can contribute, and what is going to make us happy overall. And it's been a process, definitely, but it is 100% worthwhile.
Yeah, that's awesome. So some things that I got out of what you were saying that I know a lot of viewers can relate to is like life is on autopilot, right? Our life is filled with what we should do, what we have to do. We have to pay the bills. And next thing you know, like you said, those little steps, you keep moving forward. And then all of a sudden you go like, how did I get here?
Absolutely.
Like, we know what, like, I'm, feeling unfulfilled. I'm like stuck. I feel that I'm stuck in this job that doesn't really satisfy me. I have lost my sense of self. I don't even know what I enjoy anymore.
Definitely. Yes. And we started out, we ended up, before we moved, we were living in the suburbs, which is a place I said I would never live. And I swore that I was going to be immune to the allure of the suburbs, which is shopping, and it's a lot easier to let go of who you are and sort of tune into what's going in around you. But when we first moved, I was very, very determined to remain myself and to not compromise myself. But again, just through all those little steps and parenthood and just the circle of friends that you surround yourself with, you just end up looking up and questioning how did I get here working 9 to 5 every day at a job I don't like. Supporting my husband as we pass, like ships in the night, because he's working his job that he doesn't like, and our kids are lost somewhere in the shuffle. And it's not what I ever wanted for myself.
Yeah. I'm just recalling, friends of mine who have that lifestyle, and kids get a little yangy. That's the word I use. They're always like wanting attention, but then the parents are like, well, no, I have to go get groceries. I have to go here. I have to go there. And there's less time for everybody to just be.
That's exactly it. And I think we don't value that time to just be. Like, everybody is off in a different direction. And, Yeah, it's important to have your own things, and it's important to, go to your extracurriculars and have your friends that you meet with socially outside of work and all of that. But that time where you don't schedule anything and you just do nothing, those are some of the most beautiful moments in our lives, right? Where you haven't planned anything, there's no agenda, there's no place to be, you just get to be. And in that sense, I think you get to shed some of the expectations of who you are and just tune into who you actually are.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
So I see that we have quite a few viewers online this morning. I want to say hi. Thank you so much for being here. Please, this is your opportunity to join in on the conversation. Let us know you're here. Say good morning. If you have any questions, comments, please type them in and I will definitely acknowledge that you're here. So right away we have Tabitha Foster. Tabitha Foster says, good morning. Good morning, Tabitha. Thanks for tuning in. Tabitha, I know, is joining in from the East Coast. All right. So I have a couple questions for you. I have a couple things that I wanted to ask you to get the conversation going. So in your opinion, why do people stay in jobs that make them unhappy, that are unsatisfying, and that are literally making them sick?
Well, I think there's a couple main reasons why people stay there. You could start out in a position that you really like and then through promotions end up in a position that really is a better pay scale and maybe more attractive to you for different financial reasons, but actually doesn't serve you and doesn't fulfill what you wanted to do. But you're not likely to let go of it because of the pay and because of the security and because of the benefits and all these other reasons. And as we get older, I mean, there are pensions to consider. I mean, all of that, I think, piles into why some people stay. I almost feel like at age, we're nearing 40, there are people who are counting down to retirement. And I'm thinking, you're counting down 10 years or 15 years? Like, there's so much that I still want to do in 10 or 15 years. I'm not counting down. So there's that. And then I think sometimes people feel trapped, like they've only really been doing one line of work. So they sort of forget the fact that there's many different facets to their personality. So they get stuck doing one thing, they're comfortable there, and you kind of just forget. But if we recall ourselves in high school, we did lots of different courses. We excelled in lots of different areas. And just because we've tailored our lives to go in one certain direction in one certain field, it doesn't mean that our skill set and our passion for those other things just vanishes. It just means we haven't nurtured them. So we can go back and explore some of the other things that made us happy and see, if you're willing to entertain losing the security of the position that you're in right now, other things that would be lucrative for you and fulfill you more as a person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Something else that came up that I thought about too while you were talking is that need for certainty. Right? That's a big one. That certainty that, okay, I know that I'm guaranteed this X amount of money every week. I know, yeah, it might be uncomfortable, but at least it's an uncomfortableness that I'm familiar with.
Right.
So there's that fear of change, right? The fear of losing something. Right?
Definitely. And I will say that people have different levels, different needs for certainty. But in a situation where your lifestyle really isn't serving you and it isn't making you happy, you have to question what it's worth, right? How much is making a change or taking a risk? How much is it worth, and what is the potential gain for you as a person?
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So there's this quote that I came across probably about a month ago, and I thought, OMG, this is a quote that I really want to discuss with you. So here, I'll get into it. It's a little bit deep, so wrap your head around this, write it down if you need to. Actually, before I ask you that, I see a couple of other comments that are coming in. I want to acknowledge that people are online. So Sharon Pin says, good morning, ladies. Good morning, Sharon. Hi, Sharon. So glad you could join us. And Theresa Douglas, good morning, ladies. Good morning, Theresa. All right, so this quote that I'm talking about, and it says, I got it from this guy that's kind of popular on online on Facebook. I see a lot of his videos, Jay Shetty. Yeah. And he talks about this quote, I am not who you think I am. I am not who I think I am. I am who I think you think I should be.
Totally.
let's dive into this a little bit in case we've confused anybody, right? So there's many people who are living their life trying to please others, right? Like trying to please their parents. They're trying to shape their life because they think their parents should be doing this or should be doing that. Even in husband-wife combos, right? Like, that was me years ago. I remember 10 years plus when we lived in Kitchener, Ontario. I remember specifically saying to Jay, well, you're not happy unless I'm in the kitchen cooking. He's like, well, wait a minute, what? And he had really no expectation of that. Now that I get to know him a lot better, I mean, he'd much prefer we go out for dinner and enjoy that time together. But, we live our lives like that. This last one, I am who I think you think I should be.
Totally. Yeah, which is crazy, right? I think we are so out of touch and we're so out of practice of listening to who we actually are inside. We haven't really developed the skills or found the quiet to actually explore who we are and to prioritize things like our intuition and our inner knowing, that we're just grasping at finding our own identities. And you're right. I mean, a lot of the time we shape who we are by what we think other people expect. So motherhood is a great example. And there's a lot of pressure to be a certain kind of mother, thank you to the internet and any societal pressure and Pinterest. Oh, Pinterest. So we definitely are shaping our outward appearance based on what we think we should be at this point in our life or at this stage or in this role. And it's crazy because every time we do that, every time we tailor how we present ourselves based on who we think others want to see, we're just projecting like a mistruth. It's not truth. It's not you. It's a construction of you that's based on potentially a lie, because who are you to know what other people actually want you to be? It's just an assumption. So you start to undo the layers here and you realize, well, if I'm not sure that this thing that I'm living by is even the truth in the first place, like with you, you didn't even know that Jay wanted you in the kitchen. You assumed that to be that. And now you've based a personality around that. And then you don't feel like you're living in line with that person, even though that person doesn't even need to exist. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, absolutely. I get that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's a really neat thing to look through how you present yourself and how you live your life, and how much of it is actually from a place of truth from inside of yourself, and how much is constructed as this is who I need to be in this situation for this person. Because a lot of the time you don't need to do anything but be yourself. And that's the best thing you can do if you're capable of being yourself, right?
Right.
Letting go of the other things that you've built around yourself.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for that insight. That's awesome. I want to acknowledge a couple of people that have some comments. Kara Dawn Miller. Hey, Kara Dawn. So great to have you. She says hi. Sharon Pin says, intense quote. Yeah, it is. I agree. That was my thought when I read it, when I heard it. It really resonated with me. It is pretty intense. And Kara Dawn again says, I agree. We are not tuned into ourselves.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I feel like this isn't even prioritized. Like, we are never taught to just stop and listen to ourselves and build a practice where you check in with your inner knowing and your intuition on a daily basis. And I know meditation is on the rise. And I will say meditation is a fantastic tool for just quieting all of the everything else, so you can actually just hear yourself. But I mean, that's only really recently, this upswing in popularity. So it's great to be able to really figure out what is you and what is your projection of you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, that's what I do. I think a lot as you were chatting, and some of my most creative and fun and brilliant ideas come when I'm quiet. And it doesn't, for me, I'm more of an active person. So like going out for a walk, I never put earbuds in. Going for a run, I never put earbuds in. When I'm out in nature, it's just me, and it's just me with my own thoughts.
Yeah, and those are such valuable practices, and you would be an exception, because I don't think a lot of people in their busy and full lives prioritize that. Mm-hmm. Just taking time to like take away the stimulus, turn off the TV, put down the book, don't listen to the podcast, whatever, and just fill your head with your own thoughts and musings. And yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to describe it in your own words, what does it mean to live authentically?
It's totally that projection, right? It's checking in with yourself. It's being you at every turn. Before you make any decision, it's stopping to think about it, and not just think about it, but feel about it, to see how that feels to you. And then just being the truest version of yourself that's possible. It's not always easy because there's a level of vulnerability that you definitely feel, especially when you're practicing being more authentic in your daily interactions with people. But once you drop the idea of building a persona that you want to present to someone to impress them, and just focus on, actually making a real connection with someone from your heart or from your inner self, your true self, it's so much easier. And the value of the connections that you make with people are much richer. You make much better connections, because when you put out your vulnerable self, often it's met with that other person's vulnerable self, because they see you where you're at and they match you there, which is amazing. It's a beautiful way to go about living your life. And once you practice, even if it's just in your daily interactions at the grocery store, or, with the regular people that you might talk to, it gets more easy to be in your authentic self. And then once you get used to that, you start thinking about other choices that you've made, and it kind of snowballs. So I would say it's a practice, and you start small. And as you grow your ability to just live outside of your projection and actually just be yourself, it takes off. It's like you can't stop it, and you wonder why you lived your life any other way. Right?
Yeah, that's amazing. Before we get to the last question that I have for you, I'm realizing that I forgot to do the coffee bit, the what's in your cup bit. You want to hold that up? Yeah.
What's in your cup?
All right. Yeah. Because I'm excited to share and tell you about my mug today. So what's in my cup is coffee. I have coffee. This morning I have an espresso. Yep. Need lots of energy this morning with cashew milk. And my mug, adventure is out there. My mug was given to me by my awesome son. He's like the coolest person in my family.
He's very cool.
Shout out to Stefan. So yeah, I love this mug. So that's what's in my cup this morning. Steph, what's in your cup?
So I brought my own mug. I'm at Kelly's, but I brought my mug because I love my mug so much. It makes me happy. It was a gift from a dear friend, and I lusted for this mug for like 3 years before she bought it for me as a surprise. So that was awesome. And today I'm trying Labrador tea, which I have never tried before, but it's actually quite pleasing. I'm not a coffee drinker. It doesn't agree with me. And after many years of drinking coffee with my husband, I realized what I liked about that was the ritual of sitting down with a hot beverage. It's not, and just connecting for, half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever time we had. So I went years and years and years drinking coffee without even checking in to the fact that it makes me crabby. It kind of makes me sweaty. It doesn't really do anything for me. But I just went along in that pattern for so long, didn't even question it until I went, oh, hang on a second. I'm not sure that coffee is my drink.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's interesting, because I'm the opposite, because I see, so many of my friends, like, tea is healthier for you. And, it's like, try the tea thing, but tea is not authentic to me.
It's fair. You do you.
Yep, I do me.
I'll drink my tea.
I still love you that you're a tea drinker.
Oh, love across boundaries here. It's great.
Awesome. So we've got some other comments coming in here. Trina Hills online this morning.
Hi,
Good morning, Trina. We are always changing as we find our true voice. Yes, and yes. That is 100% true. We're always changing and evolving. And Tabitha says, I think people are scared to be quiet and listen. Oh, I think she's talking about being quiet and listening to themselves.
Yes, I agree completely. Absolutely. And I don't know if it's, it could be for a number of different factors, but people fill their space with sound and noise almost to avoid themselves because they're scared to uncover what lies beneath.
Busy.
The fuller I am, the less I need to acknowledge the fact that maybe this life that I've built isn't making me happy. And as long as I don't acknowledge that underneath I'm unhappy, I don't have to make any changes, which is easy and comfortable and familiar, not vulnerable at all.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Cara Dawn is telling us what's in her cup this morning. Now, this is interesting. Crystal-infused water this morning, quartz and amethyst, new water bottle. I'm really curious. We're going to have to chat about that, Cara Dawn.
I'm guessing you're drinking in the vibrational qualities of the quartz and the amethyst. So that sounds like I'd love to know how that feels for you.
Yeah, share that. That'd be awesome. All right. So for the people I'm just thinking of the people who are not ready to take that big leap and quit their job today.
Understandably.
Right? What are some tips that people can start doing today to help them to start their journey to live an authentic life?
Okay, well, I would say the first thing in the workplace, if you truly are miserable, seek out something. There has got to be something in your workplace, in a person that you interact with, there's got to be something in there that makes you happy or at least fulfills some part of your authentic being. And definitely it's maybe not going to be the main part of your job if that's what is making you unhappy, but maybe there's a coworker that you like to chit chat with for 5 or 10 minutes here and there, and really just to focus some energy on that one small thing that does fulfill you or makes you happy. And the next thing I would say is just, and I know nobody has any time, but I kind of look at time as a budget. So you have all of this time, and anytime you want to put something new in, there's always something you can take out or something you can shorten or something you can take off your plate. So to find something that does fulfill you authentically. So maybe you used to love to draw and you haven't done it since you were 15. Maybe pick up a pencil. Maybe plan 15 minutes a day just to do a quick sketch. Or maybe if it was you really loved going for long walks by yourself, but you stopped doing that, just engage in some activity outside the workplace that fulfills you in an authentic way and gives you the opportunity to be a little bit introspective and allows you to examine your life from a different perception or a different perspective. So yeah, those are the things that I would say to start out with. Also, it's really great to have a group of like-minded souls, and I've been very fortunate to find some really, really wonderful people to just share these thoughts and feelings with, and to continue on, living more authentically. And then I would also suggest meditation, even if it's a 2-minute meditation on YouTube or an app, or 5 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever you're comfortable with. Meditation or walking meditation as you do. Mm-hmm. Meditation just gives you a timeout, gives your brain a timeout, gives your body a chance to relax. There's so many great, great benefits. I can't say it enough how much that one practice has changed my life and how I approach everything in my life. So really, even if you've been resisting, it is worth it, absolutely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's a tip that I always share with people, and as a reminder, so when excitement is high, intelligence is low. So I always recommend that people not say yes right away, because how often have people been like, okay, yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll volunteer here. Yes, I'll go there. Yes, I'll do that. But then when they actually sit back and think about it, they're like, that's going to cause me more stress. That's really not what I want to be doing. So taking the time to really resonate with your decision.
And it's funny because I hear that because I know who you are. And for me, if I sat back and really thought about things, I would talk myself out of things that really I should be doing. So I'm way more inclined to check in immediately with how it feels with me and then respond in the moment.
Yeah.
Because if I sat back and mulled it over, my brain could fill my thoughts with 100 reasons why I shouldn't do something, even though it would be amazing for me to do it.
Yeah, that's interesting because I know Mel Robbins talks about the 5-second rule. So if you don't take action on something within 5 seconds, your brain just goes on autopilot and you basically pull the emergency brake. However, this is for me, the technique that I had to learn is that, because I guess everybody is different. I know that everybody's different. But what was I going to say? is that sometimes I don't exactly know how I feel right away.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas some people like myself need that little bit of time to really think about it, because that has been identified in me. I am a thinker.
Right.
Right. So that would be the advice for the thinkers out there like me. And then you've got that advice for, like if it feels awesome, like if it's 100% heck yeah, then yeah. Heck yeah.
Do it.
Say yes.
Yes, do it. And that's funny, because I think between how you actually feel about a situation versus all of the things we tell ourselves, like, oh, it's going to cost too much money, and oh, we don't have the time for this, and oh, that's the automatic thinking that takes over. So even if you were excited about an opportunity or something, for me, if I don't act on it, then the automatic thinking takes over. Yeah. And I'm getting a lot better at not listening to my automatic thinking, that system that basically wants to keep us small, that talks us down to being the lowest possible version of ourselves that we can be. But still, it still crops up. So now I know through practice, if it feels good, it's for me. Say yes, do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, we have a couple more comments. So going back to the crystal water, Tabitha says that you ladies should try crystal infused water. It's amazing. Yeah, I agree. I'd love to try this crystal infused water. And then Kathy from down in New York says, good morning. Good morning, Kathy. And Heather Conlon says, good tips. Thank you. All right. And Kara Dawn is saying, I'm getting off coffee as it is not keeping my vibration high. So yes, the vibration of the crystal infused the water and then hydrates my cells. I actually crave more of the water. This is a new experience for me this week. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
I think I'm totally going to try that. I bought some new crystals yesterday, so maybe we'll just drop them in my water later.
So yeah, do you drop the crystals in your water, or is it a specific bottle that already has like the crystals and stuff in it? I'd be interested to know that. Mm-hmm. And Kara Dawn says, yes, I can relate to that automatic brain.
I think we all can. I think that the difference between recognizing that you have the automatic thinking pattern or thinking that that is you. So once you realize that there's like two of you, there's the brain that's thinking and questioning and telling you that you're not enough and you're not strong enough and you're not good enough and that you shouldn't do this and it's risky and blah, blah, blah. There's that, which is I call the automatic thinking. Some people call the ego, whatever. And then there's the other you, the quieter you, the you that speaks in whispers, the you that knows what it wants. And it's so hard to listen to the quiet you when the automatic thinking you is screaming over top of it. So really, once I think with practice, you get used to listening to the you, the automatic thinking gets a little bit quieter, but everybody has it. Everybody is running this program in the background, and we just need to learn that that's not the only voice we have to listen to, and it's not actually what defines us as people. Yeah.
It's awesome. All right, so Tabitha says clear them first. So clear the crystals first before you drop them in, and then, or maybe not. And then Kara Dawn says, no, don't drop them in. Anyways, we'll find out more details on that. Kara Dawn, if you want to comment on, like, leave a longer comment and let people know exactly about this crystal infused water, that'd be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your insight. For all the viewers that want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to connect with you, Stef?
Well, so I use an Instagram page personally, but it's under my pseudonym, which is Jill Danger. And then I've just started a Facebook page. Literally, there is, I think, one person on it. But if you're interested, it's something new that I'm just starting. And if you're interested, I'll share a link in the comments below. It's called Shaping Reality. So it's just about this, about how your perceptions of your life shape how you live and how to unhook from those perceptions and live more true to yourself.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to check that out.
Awesome. I hope you do.
Yeah. So if you guys have enjoyed the Coffee and Confidence show this morning with Stef Bourke, we can tune in every Thursday. We've had to reschedule this one. I normally do the Coffee and Confidence Thursday mornings, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can tune in next week for that show. So next week I have guest Amanda Hansen, and we're going to be talking about how to find confidence in your closet. So I'm looking forward to that one. Again, I have a private Facebook group called Coffee and Confidence. So in there I share tips and videos and lots of inspiration. We've got a great community going on there. So if you would like to join the Coffee and Confidence group, I will leave the link in the comments below once our show is done. So there you have it.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Yay!
All right. Yes. I hope you guys got lots of value, took some great notes, and I look forward to connecting with you all.
All right. Bye.
Bye.